Good morning, YouTubers, and welcome once again to the Stink Bug Works. We're on the Eastern Division here today, and we're working some more on the JetStepper and this cup of coffee. Okay, I have glued the bottom and shaped one of the hulls here. I am now gluing in the backside of the step. Got a little piece of Delrin here to keep everything clamped up. I've shaped this body, and I'm going once again, for that asymmetric look that I had on the Goldfinger boat. But you notice I'm cutting it down more and more. I'm getting less and less boat, which is a good thing. So these are getting smaller and smaller. What may happen is I'm going to start off with this drive system, and it may be a little taller than some of the other systems, and I've really lowered the deck on this boat. So I may wind up having to put a little bubble canopy, kind of like I did on one of the earlier ones with the teaspoon, except this time I'll just make a canopy out of foam. And here's a cool little tip. If you're, trying to put stuff together and you want a nice smooth fillet, this Hobby Light filler works real good on this foam. And while it's still wet, you can moisten your finger, smooth it out, and you probably wouldn't even have to sand it, considering the kind of finish we're going to put on it, paper mache. So I've cut out my hull piece, and I'll be gluing that on. I have 3 boats here under construction. I mean, it's just as easy to build 3 as it is 1. And one of the reasons I'm building 3 is that's how much spare material I had on hand. Other than buying some motors, I have nothing invested in these 3 hulls. They were all spare parts pulled out of my parts bin. On this 3-motor thing I'm going to experiment with, I did finally get some of these little tiny connectors so I can connect everything up, because soldering and stripping these little things, I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather have it plug in so I can change things around and such. It'll make it more convenient. And I may even do the same and get 3 of those little tiny 1S battery that the Blade helicopter runs on. And that would be my 3S system. Just wire those in series. So that's some thinking, because these things aren't going to take any current. I'm guessing this is like a 1 amp setup here. So it should be pretty easy to deal with. So I think that's all the information I had to share with you today. Mainly we're talking about putting this step in. One of the reasons is, as you're exiting the hull here with your drive shaft, if you're painting or anything or filling up with glue, it'll want to dissolve and such. So I've found out that having the step there is beneficial. And one last thing, on your bottom ride surface, just let it overhang 1/16 of an inch. That way you get your good sharp edge there. You notice I've got a little 1/16 of an inch overhang. So when it's all said and done, and you notice how I did the turn fin, I just added a doubler, took a piece of angle, and I cut it in such a way to give the turn fin just a little bit of in angle. And you saw in the video how this thing would just go around in a circle. It cornered real well. So I'm going to stick with the turn fin here on the outside. Remember, it started here and moved its way out. And here, it has the added benefit of It's real easy to take off, and then it makes the boat that much easier to pack into a small space. And in fact, if I've got this held on with one screw, you could just loosen this screw, rotate it back, and similarly with the rudder, just pull this pin and lay the rudder off. Then the whole boat is only 1.5 inches thick. You could put several of these into any little container, and all you would need is an Allen wrench to put the screw back on and an Allen wrench to tighten up your fin. So when you're building your single-stepped hydro, think about transporting it and having a bunch of them. Remember, it's just as easy and cheap to build 3 as it is to build 1. I mean, it takes longer to set up the tool to do the task than it does to do the task, so why not do the task 3 times instead of once? So there's some more work on the single-stepped hydro. I want to see you guys out there working and building something fun. Until next time, jet out.